Good morning. This is Granny B. I'm not going to be on the film this morning because I just want to record this process. Later, I'm going to be filming a tutorial about how to do chili rellenos. But first, I've got to do this little part. You've heard about how you have to char and sweat peppers. And so this is just the first process, and I've already charred them, and now I'm going to sweat them. Most people tell you to put them in a plastic bag, but I don't want to put mine in a plastic bag because they're hot, and I don't like the idea of plastic always being on my food if I can help it. So I get a skillet hot. The skillet is already hot, and I put a lid on it. And I'm going to lift the lid now, and you can see that these peppers are still hot because of all the steam coming off of them. But see how charred they are? I got 3 poblano peppers in one of my bargain bags the other day. This one being one of them. And I think these 2, because I had already bought 2 with the intentions of making chili rellenos. And so it was just a wonderful surprise that I got these others in my bargain bag the other day. This one is much too big. I don't want to make a pepper that big. But the other 4 are just about right. But what I'm going to do with this large one is once I pull the skin off, I'm just going to cut it up and mix it with my meat mixture that's going to go inside these others for the chili rellenos. So that's it for now. Hope you like this tutorial. I hope you like Granny B's tip for sweating your peppers without having to put them in a plastic bag. And I'll come back later as I start peeling that skin off, and we'll show you the next steps. And then later we'll go through the whole process of making some chili rellenos. And I hope you go along with us because they are so good. Hello. This morning I told you I was going to do some chili rellenos, and so I'm ready to do that. I showed you how I sweated the peppers so that the peeling could come off, and now I've peeled them, and I have opened them up and taken some of the seeds out. I still need to get a little bit of the seeds out, but I'm going to put a piece of cheese in each one of these. This is the queso fresca. That it doesn't melt, but it's a real good cheese, and it is the traditional cheese that the people put in their chili rellenos. But of course you can put any kind of cheese you want. And over here I've got 4 egg whites that I'm starting to beat to soft peaks, but it's not there yet. So I need to continue beating these eggs a little bit. So we'll come back in a minute. I turned the mixer off for a minute so you can see this is beginning to get there, but how you know when you're getting close is it starts making little puffy clouds kicking up. So we'll keep going a little while. Okay, I think that's about right. They're starting to stand up, and so they've got quite a bit of air into them. And we're going to just add these yolks now. But if you're making a batter, you can go ahead and add the yolks once the whites have gotten to the stage that they need to be. So we're going to go ahead and put the yolks in now. This was 4 egg whites with a pinch of salt. And now we're just going to add the egg yolks. But we do still want to be gentle with it. We don't want to break all of those little cell walls and let all of your air, because it's the light airiness that makes the chili rellenos so good. Some people add about a tablespoon of flour at this stage, but we're not going to. Now over here I have just some hamburger meat that I've turned into a taco filling. But I've got hamburger meat, onions, the poblano, the big poblano, some garlic, and some jalapenos. Poblano peppers are very mild, and so I wanted a little bit of a kick. So that's why the jalapenos are in there. Now we're just going to take about a teaspoon of this, a tablespoon of this, and put it in our chili. You can fill these with anything. You can picadillo, and I do have a plan to show you do a video on picadillo later. It's a kind of a chili dish, a chili con carne dish, but it's really good. You have to secure these with toothpicks. And roll them in flour. This is going to be a fat one. I don't know if I can get him squeezed back up in there or not, but that's okay. The more stuffing they've got, the better. And now this one, you see how I had this flap here? When I was opening him up, that little piece tore. So I'm going to attempt to get this back in as much as I can, and I'm going to put that flap back up in there. We'll see if that works or not. These are supposed to taste good, not necessarily look good. So I guarantee they're going to taste good. Okay, I'm going to take this off of the burner now because I want to start getting the grease hot. Oh, and the rest of this, make tacos with it, or quesadilla. There's 100 uses for taco meat. Now in this pan, I've got coconut oil, and it's about ½ inch deep, but we're going to let it get good and hot. In the meantime, I'll go ahead and finish getting flour on these, dipping them in the egg white, and then once this gets hot enough, we're going to fry these chili rellenos. That one may give us some trouble because I just can't hardly close him, but we're going to go with it anyway. The flour helps the eggs to stick. I've heard people use that term, man, this looks like a hot mess. I think now I know what they're talking about. It looks like a hot mess, but it's going to be good, I guarantee you. Now don't think that all of this egg is just going to be going to waste, because you can turn right around in the morning and make yourself an omelet and add this to your omelet so it doesn't go to waste. There you go. You're halfway to a 3-egg omelet. Just stir up your omelet as usual and add that to it, and no waste. No muss, no fuss. If your grease isn't hot enough, then that egg white is just going to soak up the grease. And you don't want it as greasy as that. Okay, we're going to go ahead and put this first one in here. We're going to repair him a little bit. We're going to go in with the second one. And repair him a little bit. We're going to go ahead and spoon some of this grease over the top of the first one to help that egg white set. I'm going to let him get a little more brown. I'm going to spoon some of the grease on top of this one. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and flip this first one now. And he looks pretty good. Of course, this is the side you're going to put down on your plate, and you're going to, your presentation side is going to be the one that's on the bottom now. Okay, I think this one's ready to turn over. It is. See how beautiful? What a pretty golden crust that is. So we're going to go ahead and take him out. Let him drain just a minute. And there's your presentation. That one looks pretty good too. We're going to go ahead and take him out. Let him drain a minute. Two out of three. Let's see what this one looks like. Oh, I messed him up when I put him in. We could fix him by just putting a little dab of spackling on him. He won't look quite as pretty as the other two. We're going to turn him over and see if we can't get some of that to smooth out. Alright, that's the best we can do on him. He doesn't look quite as pretty, but he's still going to taste good. And we'll take this first one, just pick him up by the toothpicks. Pull the toothpicks out. And I know there's one more in there, but we can't find him yet. But we're going to cut into this and see what it looks like. Oh, the way you serve this now is you can either serve it plain, you can put a cheese sauce on it, you can put a ranchero sauce on it, or you can just let it go at that. There's that other toothpick. There. Can you see that? So here we go. One chile relleno. We've still got a third one over here. And look, the mice have come in again and already eliminated 2/3 of the other one. But there you go. We're so glad you stayed with us. Once again, this has been Granny B's Recipes. So you take it and make it your own. Thank you so much.